Pop your head around for a minute. Hello, boys and girls. It's me, Tasty Tam. I'm here from the University of Arkansas Division of Agriculture, and I work with a wonderful new SNAP educator. Her name is Candace, Miss Candace. So Miss Candace, can you pop over here and give us a little wave? She helps us out with all kinds of things, boys and girls. She helps us out with camera and recording. So you're going to see her throughout the year. In fact, the next 2 times we come, I'm hoping in April and May that we might be able to be there with you. Boys and girls, today we're going to talk about MyPlate, and we're going to talk about the MyPlate kids. And I'm going to introduce you to MyPlate in just a second. But before I introduce you to MyPlate, I want to give your teachers a little bit of information. Inside of the materials that your office manager or your principal have given you, these were some things that were in there, teachers. There was a letter to go home to the parents that tells them a little bit about our program. Looks like that. It tells them all the things that we'll be covering and gives them a phone number if they'd like to call us and add information. And we always want to know when you try some of the recipes. And we'll be giving you out some recipes throughout the semester. We also sent today a Chop Chop magazine. And the Chop Chop magazine that you have is the fall edition. And inside of that, there's a flyer down inside of the bag that goes into the inside of the Chop Chop magazine. If you put that in, that just tells parents to focus on certain recipes that their kids might enjoy making or making with them. It's a very healthy, good magazine. It's called Chop Chop. Also, teachers, in your bag, I did not put this in here, but I did give you the information on the printout sheet to the principal. It gives you all kinds of educational standards and strands for the state of Arkansas and across the nation. It does things like life science, science, it does science, math, and language arts curriculum. So if you want a copy of this, please just call the extension office here and I will order you one. I just didn't order any extras because I thought you might already have this. And this is a teacher's edition. And in the teacher's edition, this is the big book. And that way you can have it to read for your kids, the little books that I'm going to be giving them today. Okay? And I'll talk about those in just a minute. So if you have any more questions after you look at the letters that Miss Candace and I sent you, please call the office. We'd love to answer any of those questions because we want to make it very easy for you because we know that this is a different kind of year and this is kind of hard for me to do too because I'm an old-time teacher. So this is hard for me to do and not want to be there and be with the kids. So now, kids, let's get into this. First of all, we're going to talk about MyPlate. It's up here on the wall. Teachers, also inside of your bag, there should be, every one of you, a copy of the MyPlate board up here, this board. And you can put it up on the wall, but today we're going to talk just a bit about the basics of it. We see the colors for MyPlate, and you guys have probably seen this in your cafeteria before. Have you seen it before, boys and girls? I think it's probably in your schools. Look in your cafeterias and see if you can see that. But what it says, it says, if you eat fruits, vegetables, grains, proteins, and dairies every day, it helps you to eat smart, to play hard. It helps you play better and learn better every day. Fruits are the red. Let's look at some of these fruits. Watermelon is one of my favorites. Is it yours? And another one up here is a banana. Look at that. I love bananas. And we're going to learn about a character today. Her name is Farrah Fruit. And Farrah is part of her body is made out of bananas. It's red. Vegetables, what color is that? That's green. We love vegetables because they're good in fiber and they're healthy for your body. Like broccoli and tomatoes and even corn on the cob. I see a carrot up there too. Vegetables are green. Grains are good for your brain, boys and girls. Popcorn, brown breads, spaghetti, Cereal. How many of you guys love Cheerios? They're on there. And Cheerios are actually what's on Jane Grain's nose. We'll look for it in a minute. Grains are good for your brains and help to turn that on in the morning. Proteins help to build your nice fine muscles. There are muscles all over your body, boys and girls. In fact, your bones couldn't function without your muscles. We would just be skeletons. Muscles are your tongue, most of all the inside of your organs. There are muscles all over your body so your fingers will work. Let's look at the things that make good proteins. Peanut butter, ham, a chicken leg, and even eggs. Look at that, sunflower seeds. I love to eat those. They're a great snack. I'll eat more of those because I know they're good in protein. Protein is purple. Last but not least is the dairy. Dairy is good in calcium food, and that's where you get good, strong bones and teeth, boys and girls. Look at that. Cheese and cottage cheese, and one of my favorite things is yogurt. Also, string cheese and milk. Love all of those things, boys and girls. And that helps you to have strong muscles and strong bones go together for the movement all over your body. You know, sometimes foods are ones that we're going to talk about a little bit in a little bit. You know, you don't see them up here on this, and Miss Candace is going to tell you more about those. So you be listening in a little bit for sometimes foods. So we're going to talk about those. Miss Candace, would you like to show them your game that you have with them for them today? Wow, Miss Candace, that's all the colors of MyPlate, isn't it?
It is. Here we've got some food cards, and we're going to talk about which category of MyPlate these different foods go into. And you're going to get some helpful tips based on the color that goes around each food. The first one is kind of tricky. We're going to start off hard. This is eggs. Now, some people think that eggs go in the dairy section, but that's not quite right. Notice the border is purple. Which of our food groups, Tasty Tam, is purple?
Well, I do love eggs, and I think that they're protein. Is that right, Miss Candace?
That's right, Tasty Tam. Good job. And here we've got a green border. This is a carrot. Tasty Tam, which food group do you think this goes into?
Well, I know Reggie Veggie loves green, and so I'm going to go with vegetable.
Vegetable. Very good, Tasty Tam. And what about string cheese?
That's one of my favorites.
String cheese has got a blue border. Which food group do you think string cheese goes in, Tasty Tam?
Oh, I know it's made from milk, and milk comes from, what is it, Miss Candace?
How about the dairy food?
That's right, it's dairy. I couldn't think of the word, Miss Candace.
That's all right. And here's one of Tasty Tam's favorite snacks, popcorn. Tasty Tam, where does your favorite snack go? What food group? It's got an orange border.
I think it's a grain.
It is a grain. Very good, Tasty Tam.
But I'm sure all the boys and girls here in North Arkansas, North Central Arkansas here, I'm sure that they've got it all correct.
I bet you're right, because we've got some pretty smart kids here in Boone County.
Yes, we do.
All right, last one, boys and girls. This is grapes. It's got a red border. Tasty Tam, what category do you think these grapes go into?
I love grapes, and they're my favorite fruit.
Fruit. Very good, Tasty Tam. And good job, boys and girls.
Thank you, Miss Candace. Thank you very much. So we just looked at, hello? Okay. We just looked at different types of fruits, vegetables, proteins, dairy, and grains. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tasty Tam.
You know, we've learned all about MyPlate foods, Miss Candace. And you know, I know that there are some, because it showed us on our poster a while ago, that there are sometimes called sometimes food. And I want to try and make the boys and girls, or allow them to eat a little healthier. So can you talk about everyday foods and sometimes foods, Miss Candace?
Absolutely, Tasty Tam. So the first thing we've got is we've got this poster, and it's showing all kinds of snacks that we eat. So we've got things like nachos, we've got fish and asparagus, some healthy snacks like popcorn, yogurt, fruit, and then we've got some edamame. Tasty Tam, can you tell the kids where edamame is grown?
Edamame was actually started in Arkansas, and it grows in South Arkansas.
How
We
cool is
love
that, kids?
edamame.
Then we've got what Tasty Tam and what we on MyPlate refer to as sometimes foods. Sometimes foods is this little plate right here. On here you can see they've got chips, chocolate bars, cookies. I've got some examples of some other foods. Some other sometimes foods that you might be familiar with are things like candy jars. How often do you go up to your teacher's desk and look for the candy jar? That's probably not good. And then we've got things like a goodie jar. Things like Rice Krispies. Rice Krispies would be a sometimes food.
But they are good sometimes.
They are good sometimes, but they're not foods that we need to eat every day. Things like Oreos. Some other examples of sometimes foods are ice cream and things like birthday cake. Tasty Tam thinks that it's always a good idea to have birthday cake on your birthday, but it's not something you want to eat every day. Then we've got everyday foods that it is okay for us to eat every day. And these foods are foods that are going to make you full and keep you full longer, and they're healthy for you. So some everyday foods that you might be familiar with are things like corn on the cob.
That's one of my favorites.
Me too. Or sunflower seeds. One of my favorite side dishes is a side salad.
Oh, I love that. I had that for lunch today, boys and girls. That is so good.
We've got things like turkey. How many of you have ever tried turkey?
We're going to have it in a few weeks, Miss Candace.
That's right. Thanksgiving is coming up. We've got some milk, some whole wheat bread, and some blueberries are some other examples of everyday foods.
I love that, Miss Candace. Thank you very much.
You're so welcome.
Boys and girls, Miss Candace and I have talked about, over here, we've talked about the MyPlate board. She talked about and used to talk about the game. We've talked about everyday foods, and we've talked about sometimes foods today. But this is something that Tasty wanted to show you, because when the classes are over with in May, Miss Candace and I will bring these to school, and you get to have them. It's a real MyPlate, one of your very own. It's got all of the things in it: fruits, vegetables, proteins, grains, and dairy. You get one of those. And you're going to get a little spork that goes with it. You say, what's a spork? It's a spoon/fork. It's got somebody eating some really cool veggies up there on it.
That's really cool, Tasty Tam.
And the last thing we're going to give you is we're going to give you some glasses to remind you it's very important to eat fruits every day. Do you love my glasses?
Wow.
What do you think about that, Miss Candace?
I love them.
I do too. I do too. The kids are going to love them. Today, boys and girls, we've sent a lot of cool things home with you. Chops and pencils and stickers and letters to moms and dads. So don't forget us, and make sure that you do that. Now, before I leave you guys today, I'm going to show you your one of the books inside of this, and this is Jane Grain. This is Jane. And you're getting all of these books, Miss Candace. They're getting all of those.
Wow.
Those are going to come to your classroom. And look at this, boys and girls. As you learn your familiar words for your word wall, you can color your pictures. In Jane's today, the words that you are on your familiar wall are I like. So let's do this together. I'll say it and you repeat it. I like. You've seen those words before, boys and girls. I like bread. That's what I'm hearing. I like pasta. Are you repeating after me? I like popcorn, one of my all-time favorites. I like cereal. I like tortillas. I like rice. I like grains. Hello, my name is Jane Grain. See on her nose right there, boys and girls? It's a Cheerio. Isn't she cute? Now, boys and girls, those are part of my characters, but not all of my characters. These are also the characters that are in your books. This is Nate and Kate, the MyPlate twins. They love to run and play, and on their shirts you see a MyPlate, just like Miss Candace and I talked about. This is Reggie Veggie. He's a Southern boy, and he talks very loud when he talks. He's made up of a carrot and broccoli, and he says if you eat lots of vegetables, you're going to be much healthier. This is Farrah Fruit, and Farrah says, boys and girls, eat lots of fruit because it will give you lots of vitamin A and C, okay? And it makes it easier for you to see and stay healthy. This is Dean Protein. Dean Protein, he says you need good proteins to build your muscles and your muscles all over your body and keep them healthy. This is Mary Dairy. And Mary said, boys and girls, please make sure you eat lots of milk products so you can make your bones strong. Like your bones and your teeth, you want to keep them healthy. And again, there's little Miss Jane Grain. And she said, if you want to turn on your brain, gives you a lot of good thinking and energy, you'll eat lots of whole grains. So that's my characters. And we're going to be, the books that we're giving to you have all of those characters in. So you guys be looking for that. The last little book that I have for you today is about a little wolf that chose to eat sometimes foods rather than everyday foods. He ate some foods that affected the rest of his life. So let's look at them, boys and girls. Are you ready? I'm going to move the camera in so that I can just flip it. Oops. This book was written by David Bedford, and Mandy Stanley did all of the pictures and the illustrations. She's called an illustrator. There he is, the healthy wolf. Look in the back of his pockets right there, boys and girls. You guys see what's in his back pocket? Are those unhealthy foods? Yeah, those are sometimes foods. Can you have them sometimes? Absolutely. Do you need them all the time? No. So here he is. So when his name is Winfred. Winfred was a greedy young wolf, and he loved all the wrong foods. One of his favorites was smoky potato chips. And he loves chewing on chocolate bars. And he washed those all down with a big can of soda pop or Kool-Aid. Yum, yum. But he wasn't very healthy, boys and girls. Let's look at what all he's got in his refrigerator. Do you see any broccoli in there? Or cheese? Or Miss Candace, do you see anything healthy in there?
I don't, Tasty Tam. That's sometimes foods. You can't eat them every day.
That's right. There's sometimes foods you can't eat them every day. But you guys know what he really wanted to do? it says here, but there was one very naughty food that Winfred wanted to eat more than anything, and it was juicy and tasty.
What was it, Tasty Tam?
It was children. He wanted to eat children. But because he hadn't taken care of himself and he'd eaten chocolate and candy and everything all the time, he was much too slow to ever catch a child. He might chase after them, but they just laughed at him because he was a silly old wolf and he was just too slow and unhealthy to catch them. Oh my goodness. And as he got older, he ate more and more of those unhealthy foods. And it got so bad that he didn't brush his teeth, and his teeth began to rot out, boys and girls. And they were sore. And his teeth became so sore, he couldn't eat anything but oatmeal. It's called porridge here, but that's what it was. Oatmeal. How many of you could eat oatmeal every day? Could you do that, Miss Candace?
No.
No way. I couldn't do it every day. I'd want something different. He was so sad for himself and hungry and so tired of it. Along came the brown breads. This is the brown bread family. And they thought that Winfred looked hilarious when they first met him. But then they looked at this little wolf and saw the old porridge on his chin. And their daughter Sarah said he couldn't scare a flea and laughed at him. And the brown breads decided they would take him home and told her not to laugh. We're going to see if we can help him. And so they took Winfred home to make him a healthy wolf. Let's see what they do first. Well, Mr. Brown Bread, guess what? He's a dentist. And because he is a dentist, he was able to repair and clean all of Winfred's teeth, and he gave him some shiny plastic ones and brushed them all up and said, now, Winfred, remember, you have got to brush those teeth 3 times a day. If you brush your teeth 3 times a day, they can stay healthy. Then they can be very good teeth. And Winfred said, chop, chop. Does that mean that I can chase after and eat my favorite thing, which is, what was it, Miss Candace? Children. He doesn't care how old the children are. He didn't care if they're dentist or because look what he did to Mr. Brown Bread. He chased him out of his office. Snap, 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 he said. But Mr. Brown Bread was way too quick, and he was up in the apple tree before long, putting all of the apples out onto the ground. Winfred couldn't reach him at all. He sniffed, and next Winfred went to Mrs. Brown Bread. Now, Mrs. Brown Bread, she wasn't just a regular mom. She was a doctor. And she took an x-ray of him, and she said, oh, Winfred, look at your stomach, look at your body. You've eaten so much candy, you're about to turn to candy. Cakes and candies and candy canes. She said, you are not very healthy. You need to learn to eat good foods like the ones Miss Candace showed you today. Good foods. Okay, then, said Winfred, if that's what the doctor has ordered, and then lunged at her to gobble her up. Mrs. Brown Bread was able to outrun him, and she ran quickly and got into the closet and shut the door and hid from Winfred. Winfred thought she was upstairs, so he climbed up the stairs till he got to the very tip top of the stairs right here. And so Sarah was up there, and she said, hey, you want to go running with me? I'd like to come running, but I don't think I can do it. I think I'm out of shape too bad. She said, well, come on, let's see. You can chase me, and if you catch me, you can eat me. Uh-oh, the challenge was on. He snapped, 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 and she ran like the wind. Unfortunately, she was such a good runner. She said, you're even sillier than you look. She laughed. You've got to really work hard to catch me. He began to eat fruits and vegetables. He began to eat bananas. He began to eat whole grains. And guess what, boys and girls? He got more energy. He got more vitamins. He brushed his teeth 3 times a day. Look how pretty and pearly those are. Do you guys remember to brush your teeth every day? It's very important before you come to school, at lunchtime if you can, and at nighttime before you go to bed. And every day, look what happened. He got closer and closer and nearer until, you think he ate her? What do you think, Miss Candace?
I don't know.
Jump, 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 he says. He was so excited, he ran right past Sarah. Look at that. He got to the finish line and he beat her. He forgot all about eating her and just wanted to beat her. 3 cheers for Winifred. Hey, Winifred. Hey, Winifred. Hey, Winifred, they said. And guess what? Afterwards, they decided to go on a family picnic where they have good everyday foods right there in their picnic. That's all. So boys and girls, what happens if you eat lots and lots of sometimes foods and don't eat everyday foods? It can make you sick, can't it? So you want to remember, eat good foods. Boys and girls, Miss Candace and I want to say goodbye. Miss Candace, come over here. She's my cameraman / everything else. So bye, guys. We will see you guys in April and May, okay? Bye-bye.